Hi everyone, and welcome to SIFF Young Artiste, where we nurture the artist in you. My name is Ishan, and I'll be your guide for today's lesson. Today we're learning the opening introduction of Agar Tum Saath Ho from the movie Tamasha, composed by Agar Rahman. This song is at a level 3. If you do have any trouble with some of the concepts or ideas in this song, you can click on this link to help refresh those ideas. However, the most important thing is practice, because some of the ideas in this song just take time and you've got to have to drill those in. Let's get right into learning the first part. So this song, the most important aspect is timing. So we're going to keep a steady count of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and keep that on repeat the entire time. The song starts, we'll start with the right hand, and it starts on the 4 and then goes into the first measure. So we have 4 and 1 and 2 and then it continues. And we're going to have to play in the E flat major scale, which uses these 3 flats, the E flat, the A flat and the B flat. So, which means if you see A, B or E anywhere, you're probably going to have to play the flats of those keys. Now here's middle C for your reference. We start an octave higher with our right hand on this E flat with our middle finger. And like I said, we start on the 4 and then we go into the beginning. So we have 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's do that part one more time. So we start on E flat, follow my fingers and follow the keys that I play and try and replicate that. So I'll play it even slower if you like. So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So for the second line, after you're done practicing this first line, we go in on the 4 and again. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Whatever that part is, right? So let's get into now the second line. How does that go? Hold on. Right. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's do that once more, slowly. Follow my fingers carefully. So we go in from the first line. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4 and again picks up the next bit. So let's put these 2 lines together and play them really slowly. 4 and 1 and 2 and, sorry, that was supposed to be on the and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that goes into the next bit. Let's see what our left hand does. It's pretty simple actually what our left hand does, because it's only playing sets of chords. Now the reason I'm counting 1 and 2 and is because every chord is for 2 counts. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So see what happened here. Instead of playing just the block chord, I've changed it a little bit and I've played the arpeggio, 1 and 2 and. But I've still kept that same chord shape or that idea for 2 counts, right? For 2 full counts, 1 and 2 and. So if I put those together, they usually all the chords start on the first count and the third count. So when I have 4 and 1, this is a C minor chord. So 4 and 1 and 2 and. Now on the 3, this is an A flat major chord. So 3 and 4 and. Then I jump to an E flat major chord. 1 and 2 and now on the third count, I jump to a B flat major chord. Right? But here I'm doing this arpeggio. So here both my hands are playing at the same time and it's a little weird. So practice that bit a lot, because as I'm playing F here, I'm playing F here. As I'm playing D here, I'm playing G here. So I get and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I go to the next bit, which is here. So again I have this arpeggiated pattern with my left hand on the F minor chord. right? And because this note is held for 2 counts, I don't do anything else with my right hand. And then I go back down to the C minor. So the same idea that I had for the B flat chord, right? So this one, G with the F and E flats together. So now I have this here, right? So I have, and then I jump to the A flat major chord here with the C with my right hand, and then the B flat with the D. So those chords in order are C minor, A flat major, E flat major, B flat major, F minor, C minor, A flat major, and B flat major. So let's put our hands together for those first 2 lines, right? I'll count as I play so you can follow. So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4, right? So that's the first 2 lines. Let's get into the second part now, where you're going to play octaves with your right hand. So going into the second line now with our right hand, we've just finished this much of our first line. And picking up from here, we go into the second line, which starts again on the 4 and. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let me do that one more time and count. So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's put these first 2 lines together with our right hand and see how that goes. So we're going to start here on the 4 and on this E flat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's the entire first 2 lines with just our right hand. Now let's see what our left hand does, because our left hand is actually fairly simple. You're playing a set of chords. Some of them you arpeggiate, but most of them you're playing as block chords. So let's see the chords that we're playing. We're going to put both the lines together for our left hand. So we start with the C minor chord, and that comes in on the 1. So 4 and 1. And all these chords come in on the first beat or on the third beat. So the first chord is C minor, 4 and 1 and 2 and now on the third beat you have an A flat major, right? So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now you go to an E flat major, right? So I forgot my count, so let's go again. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the 1 and 2 and then on this F you go down to a B flat major. Okay, so that's your 3 and that ends that first line, right? So 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that picks up in the second line. Now for this B flat, I'm not going to play a block chord, I'm going to play an arpeggio. But because each chord is held for 2 counts, either 1 and 2 and or 3 and 4 and, I can play only 4 notes here. So I'm just going to play B flat, D, F and D. So let's see how that sounds when I put this together. Right, so that picks up into the next line, which is 4 and now into the second line where I go to an F minor, 1 and 2 and. So again, for all these remaining chords, I'm going to be doing this arpeggiated pattern. So 1 and 2 and then I go to the C minor with the G, 3 and 4 and, right? So again, this idea of, so the 4 and is sort of picking up into the next part, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I jump down to an A flat major, 1 and 2 and then a B flat major to end it. So let's put that all together and I'll count while I do it so you can follow. 4 and 1 and, oops, I have to play block chords here. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 And that's the first two lines. Let's get into now the third and fourth lines, which is almost the same. It's got a little bit of a twist to it, and we're playing octaves on our right hand, so it's going to take a bit of practice. So getting into that third line now, we start off again on the 4 and we're playing the same starting as we did for the first line. But instead of playing individual notes, we're going to play octaves. So it gives it a much fuller, richer sort of sound, right? So don't keep your hand very stiff when you're playing these octaves. Keep it a little relaxed and use your wrist to play those notes. So don't sort of use your forearm like that, and don't jam your fingers into the notes. So you've got a little bit of that flow is important. So let's see how that goes. So getting into the third line now, actually the third and fourth line, let's put them together and learn them as one, right? So we start the same way as we started the first line, but then there's a lot of small changes that sound very similar, but it's actually something different that you're playing. So let's get into it. We're starting on E flat again, but this time you're playing octaves. So you're going to use your thumb and your pinky to play all these keys. Whatever you're playing in this part is all just thumb and pinky. Don't keep your hand rigid. Try and keep it relaxed and use your wrist to play these notes so you get a little bit of control. So we start on E flat and we start with 4 and. So watch me play and I'll count as well, and I'll do it really slowly so we get exactly which notes we're supposed to play. So we start at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll do it one more time, even slower, in case you weren't able to follow some of those. So 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and that's the entire ending part, right? So we've done the first part with both our hands, and this bit with our right hand is going to take a lot of practice, right? Because getting those notes right without making mistakes, it'll take time, and then building it up to speed, that'll also take a little bit of time. So let's see what our left hand does to make this sound a lot fuller, because in the song as well, it starts off a little bit empty sounding and then it fills up in the second part. So instead of playing the chords that we usually play, so the C minor chord has just C, E flat and G, I'm going to be playing C, G and C. So I have a wider range of the keyboard and I don't have to play that E flat note. So all my chords are going to have this shape of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm not playing on that last bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So let's see what chords I'm playing. I'm playing a C minor, playing an A flat major, playing an E flat major, and then I go to a B flat major, following which I go to an F minor, and then back to a B flat major to finish it off. So let's see where those chords fit in. Again, they just land up on the first count and on the third count. So if I have 4 and 1 and 2 and. So see how the hands sort of interplay with each other. It sounds really nice. 4 and 1 and 2 and chord change. 1, that's 3, sorry. 3 and 4 and. So I'm still playing this pattern. Right? And then I'm jumping to the E flat here. 1 and 2 and here I'm going to the B flat, 3 and 4 and. Here I go to the F minor and 2 and back to the B flat major to finish it off. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let me play that a little bit faster without the pauses to see how it matches up. at the end there I can move my left hand thumb so my right hand can play that octave, right? So that's the entire song, and when we put it together at full speed, let's see how it sounds. So that's how to play the whole thing from start to finish. Now at the very end, if you want to add the prelude to the verse that starts, you can start on an E flat here, the octave with your left hand, and you do this little run up, right? So this is E flat, F, G, and B flat. Play them one after the other, but hold on to the note after you play it. So it sort of sustains. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can even do it in higher octave. 4, 1, 2, 3. And then kicks off into the verse. So that's the entire thing from start to finish, the prelude to Agar Tum Saath Ho. If that lesson helped you, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with some of your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Also click on that notification bell to catch our latest content early. Thank you, and I'll see you at the next one at SIFF Young Artiste, where we nurture the artist in you.